Hi everyone, thank you all for coming. This is the Dinim 2024 class. We worked very hard last, I think, 3 weeks. We've been learning the halachot of how to cook on Shabbos. If you follow along, there's a brochure which goes according to, we're going to start with Eliana and Shifra, and it's going to go this way. And if you open up, then the first one's Eliana and Shifra, and then open up, then Eliza and Sasha, etc. So you can follow along. This is going to be the concise, your guide to bring home with you. You stick on your fridge with the concise information with what you learned today. And with that, we shall start with Shifra and Eliana.
What is bishul? Bishul is changing something by using heat. Let's start. There are 3 terms you need to know while cooking on Shabbos. These are the 3. Raw dough. Then we have ma'afal ben dishai, which is a third cooked. Fun fact, the reason it's called became dishai is because a bandit who didn't have time to fully cook his food. Once something is a third cooked, it is considered like you already cooked it. But Vishal Kol Sarko is fully cooked. This applies to all solid foods. That is fully cooked. And you have to break it. Liquids are categorized differently. For liquids, we say something is cooked once it's yad solet espo, which means if you have like hot water in a cup, if you touch hot water, you're probably going to put your hands like that. Hold it. I'm taking it. Wait. It's hot, so can't touch it. Thank you very much.
B'mahar bishul, speeding up the cooking process. It's usher to stir this soup while it's on the flame, and it's also usher to serve from this pot while it's on the flame, because that will cause you to stir it, and that is usher, because that's speeding it up.
And it's usher to put a lid on a pot, which speeds up the cooking process. And moving the pot off of the flame makes it mutter.
Shania, leaving food to continue cooking on Shabbos. Taking this raw dough and putting it in the oven a few minutes or immediately before Shabbos is usher because that's causing it to cook on Shabbos.
And putting completely cooked food into the oven or onto the stove is mutter because it's not cooking right before Shabbos. It's not going to cook.
Sasha and Elisa said you could put food on the flame, on the stove before Shabbos to warm it up. But if you want to warm it up on Shabbos, this is how. Reheating a solid on Shabbos is mutter, but reheating a liquid on Shabbos is asur, even if the liquid was already cooked before Shabbos.
Why is it that you're allowed to reheat a solid but not a liquid? A solid, as you can see here, or you have raw dough right here, and then you have cooked challah. When you put it into the oven, it changes, and you can't bring it back to how it was before you put it into the oven. But if you have boiling water and cold water, when you take out the boiling water out of an urn on Shabbos and you let it cool down, it goes back to how it was before you put it into the urn.
If your liquid is warm and not cooled yet, you are allowed to warm it up with some conditions.
There are 3 ways to reheat food on Shabbos in a mutter way. The first is a pot on top of a pot. So if you have an urn or a pot that was already put on top of a stove, you're allowed to take your cold food that you want to reheat and put it on top of the pot to reheat it on Shabbos.
The second way is near the flame. If you have a stove with a metal black on top and put it on top of the flame that's on, the corner which is heating up the whole black, you can't put your food directly on there, you can put it anywhere else, so it's not on top of the heat. The last way is a hot plate. Because it's set to one setting, it's not considered cooking.
Indirect heat. Using something which has already been cooked, even heated by fire, to heat something else. There are three terms.
Kli rishon, the container in which food was cooked. It is only mutter to add the following: a solid food which has been cooked, like a cinnamon bun, or a cooked liquid which is not yet cold, like a coffee.
Kli sheni. When food from Kli rishon is poured into a second container. You may only add to Kli sheni if it is a solid food that has already been cooked, or a liquid that has already been cooked, even if it's cold. Like if you have a cold cup of coffee and you want to add like more water to make it hot, you can do it from a Kli sheni, not a Kli rishon.
Kli shlishi, when the food from a kli sheni is poured into a third container. Any foods or liquids, even ones that have never been cooked, may be placed into a kli shlishi. An example, you can add water from a kli sheni to basically anything.
Returning food to a fire. If you want to take food out of a pan or pot on Shabbos, you're not allowed to take it off while it's directly on heat, like Elisa and Sasha said. Instead, you have to put a pan on top of the heat, and then put the pan of food on it. In order to take out food, you have to keep these 5 conditions. 1, the fire must be covered, like this. 2, you must have the intention to return it to the fire after you take it off.
3, the food must be completely cut. Not me'achol ben jisai. It has to be mevashel kotzer. 4, the food must be still warm when it's brought back to the flame or oven. And 5, the food must still, you need to hold on to the food. You need to hold on to the food when you want to take it off. So you need to like hold on.
Wrapping a hot container of food to keep it warm. Wrapping a container in something which will add heat is usher, but wrapping a container in something which will not add heat but keep heat in is mutter. Wrapping a container on Shabbos is usually usher. However, either of the following ways are mutter. It is mutter to wrap the container if you don't wrap it completely. Or if the food is poured into a kli sheni, then it is mutter to wrap the second container.
Okay, everyone can come starting on this side, take food.